Hare Krishna, we'll begin with our prayers. Avagyanatimirandasya gyananjana shalakaya chakshurunritam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahim Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vaishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नितिनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, so welcome everyone. We are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 29 will start today. In the last chapter, Kapila described the process of Ashtanga Yoga in detail. What are the various limbs, yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, and regarding dharan and dhyana, he goes into the detailed description of how a yogi should meditate on the body of the Lord as a whole, that is dharana, and then one should go on to meditate on each and every limb very, very carefully for a long time. And we saw the series of verses from 21st to 33rd verses describing the meditation on the limbs of the Lord. And then after describing all these things, he says, unfortunate yogi, what he does, he is experiencing the symptoms of ecstasy. Evam harau bhagavati pratilabdha bhavo bhaktya dravad hridaya. His heart becomes soft, utpulka, he has hair standing on end, he has faltering of the voice, Utkanthya, Ashpakalaya, Muhuradyamana. Again and again, he's experiencing all these symptoms. But what he does, because he's not attached to this form of the Lord, he wants to meditate on Brahman. So he very forcefully, gradually takes his mind away from this form of the Lord. Tachapi chitta badisham shanakair viyungte. Gradually he takes his mind away from the Lord. So that is the position of an unfortunate yogi. And then Kapaladev describes how this yogi gives up that form of the Lord, meditates on Brahman, and ultimately attains the state of Jivan Mukta, a liberated soul. He enters into Brahman. So that was the last chapter. So the 29th chapter, which is entitled as Explanation of Devotional Service. Explanation of Devotional Service by Lord Kapila. So in this chapter, the glories of devotional service are further elaborately explained, and how the time factor affects the conditioned soul, that is also described. And why the effect of time is described, so that a living entity, a conditioned soul, can become detached from this material activity, and he understands that it is simply a waste of time. So he does not spend time in the things of the world, because the influence of the time shows that everything is destroyed in due course of time. Nothing stays in this world. So that is the whole chapter we'll be discussing. So now, first to sixth verses, Devahuti, she asks various questions about the types of bhakti, birth and death, and the nature of time. This entire chapter, it is the answer to the questions of Devahuti. So after hearing about Sankhya and Yoga, Devahuti, she develops a desire to hear about Bhakti with its different types. Since Chakravarti Thakur writes, she should perform that process, though she had already heard about the she inquires. So in the 25th chapter, Kapila described the process of Bhakti Yoga, then Jnana and Ashtanga in brief. Then he goes on to describe in the 26th chapter the glories of Jnana, the process of Jnana Marga. Then in 27th and 26, 27, these two chapters described Jnana. 28th chapter describes Ashtanga Yoga. And now she wants to hear about the glories of Bhakti Yoga. So she inquires in this chapter about the glories of Bhakti Yoga. So we'll begin with the first verse. Devahutirvacha Lakshanam Mahadadina Prakriteha Purushasya Cha Sarupam Lakshyate Misha Yena Tat Paramarthikam Yatha Sankheshu Gathitam Yanmulam Tat Prachakshate Bhakti Yogasya Me Margam Bruhi Vishtarasha Prabho.
Devoti inquired, "My dear Lord, you have already very scientifically described the symptoms of the total material nature and the characteristics of the spirit according to the Sankhya system of philosophy. Now I shall request you to explain the path of devotional service, which is the ultimate end of all philosophical systems."
Now she wants to hear about the glories of devotional service in great detail. So she says, Lakshanam Mahad Adinam. So you have described about the Lakshan, the symptoms of Mahatattva and so on. You have described about Prakriti, you have described about Purusha and Sarupam Lakshyate. You have described all this in Tat Paramarthikam, in true nature. What is the actual nature of all these things? You have described. And you have described about Sankhya in great detail. Now I want to hear about Bhakti Yogasya Me Margam. I want to hear about the process of Bhakti Yoga. Please explain that now in great detail, because that is the path which I want to follow. Although I heard about all these other paths, but I want to follow the Bhakti Yoga path, because you have told that this is the easiest path. That is what he had told, Kapil Dev told in the 25th chapter. This is the best path. He told yoga adhyatmika pumsam, adhyatmic yoga, three types of yoga: bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, and ashtanga yoga. So out of these, bhakti yoga is the best. So he described there. So she wants to hear more about the process of bhakti now. So Prabhupada writes, in 29th chapter, the glories of devotional service are elaborately explained. Some very, very famous verses will be coming here. The principle of pure devotional service, the definition of pure devotional service, then 5 types of liberation, जो हम सुनते हैं, Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, all that thing will be described in this chapter. Prabhupada writes, the purpose of elaborately describing time is the conditioned soul from material activities, which are considered to be waste of time. So that's how Kapila Dev will describe all these different things. And then he says how Bhakti Yoga is the basis. It is the basis of all the principles of philosophy. All philosophy which does not aim for devotional service, it is considered merely mental speculation. There is a verse in the second canto. Tapasvino dana parayashasvino manasvino mantravido samangala shemam na vindanti vinaya darpanam tasmai shubhadra shravase namo namaha. If somebody is a great tapasvi, dani, famous person, yashasvi, manasvi, very great thinker, mantravido, knower of the mantras, they are all auspicious things, but shemam na vindanti. They will not achieve perfection. Vina yad arpana. If you don't offer to Krishna, it will not give the ultimate benefit. So that is how Bhakti Yoga is the only path which can give ultimate benefit to the living entity. All the other paths, they don't give much benefit. So Prabhupada writes, there are two classes of men. Some consider themselves intellectually advanced, and others simply speculate and meditate. Basically, Prabhupada is talking about karmis, jnanis, and then he says there are other who are sentimental. So that is the second path. Though some are sentimentally following some path, they don't know why they are doing. He says,
Which are those people? Sentimental followers?
मतलब मेरे मन में आ रहा है जब तक मैं कुछ कर रहा हूँ. मतलब आजकल की दुनिया वैसी है, सेंटिमेंटल है. They like, if they like to do something, they'll do it. Otherwise, they have no basis of why they are doing what they are doing. मुझे अच्छा लगता है तो जब तक अच्छा लगेगा I'll do it. अभी मुझे मूवी जाना अच्छा लगेगा तो मूवी जाएंगे. डिस्को जाना है तो डिस्को भी अच्छा लगता है तो वहां पे भी चले जाएंगे. जहां अच्छा लगता है वहां जाएंगे. सेंटिमेंटल फॉलोअर्स. और जिस दिन मंदिर जाने का मन करेगा, मंदिर में कीर्तन हो रहा है, चलो भाई मंदिर जाएंगे. So that they have no philosophical basis for their propositions, Prabhupada writes. They are just moved by their mental, directions. Mind, wherever mind takes, they'll go. He says, neither of these achieve the highest goal of life. Or if they do, it will take them many, many years. Bahunam janmanamante. So Prabhupada writes about that. Jnanis may take many, many, many births if they come to perfection. So therefore, Vedic literature suggests that there are three elements: Bhagavan, Jiva, and their Sambandha. And the goal of life is to follow the principles of Bhakti. So that is what Prabhupada describes here. The goal of life is to follow the process of Bhakti Yoga. And then again, Prabhupada describes that how Bhakti Yoga, even Sankhya, even Jnana, anything you want in this world, unless you practice devotional service, it will not give perfection. It is compared to what? Process of Jnana, if it is not added, if Bhakti is not added, beating the empty husks of rice. क्या वो वर्ड क्या है यार किसी को संस्कृत वाला वर्ड कितने बार तो बताया मैंने अब तो याद होना चाहिए हाँ स्थूल तुषावघाती नाम थैंक यू चलो किसी को तो याद है स्थूल तुषावघाती नाम दो वर्ड याद करना है बस स्थूल तुषावघाती नाम पूरा श्लोक याद करेंगे तो और श्रेयस्कृतिं भक्ति मुदस्य ते विभो क्लिश्यन्ति ये केवल बोध लब्धये 10 14 11 आई थिंक 14 चैप्टर में है ब्रह्मा's prayers 10 14 14 है शायद तेषामसौ क्लेशल एव शिष्यते नान्यद् यथा स्थूल तुषावघातिनाम् Prabhupada writes about that. 10 14 14 होगा देखिए सर्च कर सकते हैं
10.14
10.14 नहीं 10 14 14 हाँ 10th canto 14th chapter I think 14
14.
Prabhupada writes Sankhya philosophy is the analytical study of all existence. One has to understand everything by examining its nature and characteristics. This is called acquirement of knowledge. But one should not simply acquire knowledge without reaching the goal of life or the basic principle. The basic principle is the process of devotional service. Without the basic principle, they will not achieve anything. Again, Prabhupada writes here, if we give up Bhakti Yoga and busy ourselves in analytical study, it is like husking a paddy, Prabhupada writes here. There is no use beating the husk if the grain is already removed. So this we have heard many, many times. Okay, so now she continues. So she says, okay, you have told me the process of jnana and yoga. I want to hear about bhakti. But to begin the process of bhakti, one needs little detachment. So first she asks about detachment in the third verse. Virago yena purusho
Virago yena purusho
Bhagavan sarvato bhavet
Bhagavan sarvato bhavet
Achakshva jiva lokasya
Achakshva jiva
Lokasya
Sati
Vidha samsri.
Continued, my dear Lord, please also describe in detail, both for me and for people in general, the continual process of birth and death. For by hearing of such calamities, we may become
Forehead.
attached
Continue.
of such calamities, we may become detached from the activities of this material world.
So Virago yena purusho. Please tell me Achakshva. Achakshva means the third line is Achakshva. Please describe what you want. What you should describe Virago. Please tell me how one can be detached. Virago yena purusho. Bhagavan sarvataha. Sarvata means complete detachment. How it will come? For whom? For jiva lokasya. For people in general. Because living all the jiva, they are going through vividha samsriti. They are going through the various processes of birth and death. So Prabhupada focuses on this word samsriti. गोपीनाथ भजन में आता है ना, समश्रुति घोरे, गोपीनाथ ममन उसमें आता है समश्रुति घोरे. So samsriti means this material existence, this repetition of birth and death. So he says Shreya Sriti. श्रेय स्थिति उसमें आता है ना, शुरू ऐसे होता है श्रेय स्थितिम भक्ति मुदस्य ते विभो श्रेय स्थिति. So Prabhupada writes श्रेय स्थिति means the prosperous path of advancement towards the Supreme Lord, and samsriti means journey in this material existence. So that is our journey from samsriti to shreya sriti. So that is the only goal of a living entity, to go to Shreya Sriti, not in being entangled in this samsriti. People who have no knowledge of this material world, God, and their actual intimate relationship with Him are actually going to the darkest region of material existence in the name of material civilization. So in the name of advancement, Prabhupada would call the modern factories as
Slaughterhouses.
नहीं, स्लॉटर हाउसेस तो यूनिवर्सिटीज को बोलते हैं.
Okay.
क्या बोलते हैं मॉडर्न फैक्ट्रीज को Prabhupada? Hell. भागवतम में लिखते हैं ना, like hell. So people in the name of material scientific advancement, they are working day and night, not realizing that ayur harti vaipumsam udyamastanchayannasam. With every rising and setting of the sun, their life is decreasing. The whole day is spent in earning money for maintaining family, and the night either sleeping or enjoying. Which verse says this? Anyone remembers? यार हमारा श्लोका सेशन तो बाजू में है.
बंद हो गया है.
आज आप लोग कर लीजिएगा 5 बजे के बाद. Second chapter, second canto, first chapter, Lord Shukdev Goswami says, Nidraya aryate naktam vyavayena chavavayah divacha artha ihaya rajan kutumba bharane nama. That is a material existence. Din bhar kaam karo, raat mein so jao. And that's how people are going to darkest region of material existence. Ignorant men do not know that that after this life, they are completely under the grip of material nature. They think we are free to do anything, but only for this lifespan. After they are misusing their free will, then they'll be put under a different species. They will not be able to do anything. So therefore, Devavati is asking, can you please tell me how one can become detached from this material world? Because
it would come out now, but that corporate life you're doing. These are everything which have come to know, but there you cannot come out because that workplace is that was.
it is not that we can't come out, but we can't come out completely because we have to work, we have to maintain family, we have to take care of the society. But to get engrossed and absorbed in that is possible. That is the problem, So we can come out of that entanglement and absorption. Otherwise, it is like a black hole. For them, time is money. जितना आप टाइम बिताएंगे उतना पैसा आएगा आपके पास. But it is not that they don't have money to eat. They have, अरे काम नहीं करेंगे तो खाने को कैसे मिलेगा, बच्चे को पढ़ाई कैसे होगी, वो सब तो चल रहा है. It becomes a question of status. नंबर वन हूँ, मेरे को और बड़ा बनना है, और बड़ा बनना है. अभी अंबानी को कुछ कमी है, फिर भी इज वर्किंग होल डे. ऐसा नहीं है कि अभी तो आराम से, अभी तो टेंशन ही नहीं है, अभी तो सोना ही है, आराम से मजा करना है लाइफ में. ही इज वर्किंग.
फोर्स के आगे में फर्स्ट आना है उसको.
बस वर्किंग. बस सबको और ऊपर जाना है, और ऊपर जाना है, और ऊपर जाना है. सो दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम. सो devotee should understand where to draw a line. Principle of atyahar and prayas. That is the question. So that is the important thing. Otherwise, because she's asking a question, please tell me how one can detach. Because in the previous chapter, she says they are made for each other, Baba. Material nature is attached to Prakriti and to Purusha, and Purusha is attached to Prakriti. They are made for each other. ये भी नहीं छोड़ रहा है, वो भी नहीं छोड़ रही. माया झापटिया धरे, एंड हम भी पकड़ के रखे हैं और माया भी छोड़ नहीं रही. तो मेड फॉर ईच अदर कॉम्बिनेशन. You know, it's like Prabhupada would tell, one person is catching hold of a tree and is shouting, please leave me, leave me, leave me. कैसे leave me? अरे तुमने ही पकड़ा है भाई. वो one way है, लेकिन यहाँ पे other two way है. We are also catching, we don't want to leave, and material nature also catches us. So she says, अरे कैसे होगा detachment? She continues to ask the next question. That is the first question she asks. कालयेश्वर रूपस्य
कालयेश्वररूपस्य
परेषां च परस्यते
परेषां च वर्तिते
स्वरूपं बत कुर्वन्ति
स्वरूपं बत कुर्वन्ति
यद्धेतो कुशलं जनाः.
यद्धेतो कुशलं जनाः.
It also describes eternal trying, which is a representation of your form, by whose influence people in general engage in the performance of pious activities.
Kala Ishvara Rupa. Any verse from Bhagavad Gita similar to this? Kala is Ishvara. Kalosmi. Kaloham nahi, Kalosmi. Kalosmi lokakshayatrit praviddho lokan samahatamiha pravittah. In the first canto also there was a similar description. Anyone remembers where it has come? काल ये सामने खड़े हैं तुम्हारे.
ये विष्णु पितामह के उसमें कि ये जो सामने तुम्हारे तुम्हारी रिलेटिव नहीं.
जन्मन्यसे मातुलेयम सुरिन मित्रम प्रियतमम अकरोत् सचिवम दूतम सौरिदात अर्थ सारथी. ये आपके सामने जो खड़े हैं, आपको लग रहा है ये मेरे मैटरनल कजन, ही इज माय फ्रेंड, ही इज माय मैसेंजर, ही इज माय वेल विशर. ही इज नथिंग ऑफ दैट. सएष भगवान साक्षात् आद्यो नारायण पुमान मोहयन मायया लोकम गूढ़श्चरति वृष्णिषु. This is Supreme Lord Himself. सएष भगवान साक्षात, He is भगवान. उसके पहले एक श्लोक आया था, इसे सर्वम काल कृतम. ये सब काल ने किया है. तो काल कौन है? ये जो सामने खड़े हैं ना, ये आपके ब्रदर नहीं है, ये काल स्वयं है ये. So Supreme Lord is a time factor. So she's saying, oh, please describe that time factor, which is the representation of Ishvara Rupasya Paresham Cha Parasyate. You are the chief of all this. And what happens by this time factor? Surupam Bata Kurvanti Yadaheto Kushalam Jana, by whose influence people engage in pious activities. समय काल से भय लगता है, इसीलिए पुण्य करते हैं, नहीं तो सब पाप ही करेंगे. अगर भय नहीं होगा, if people are not fearful of this time factor, then they will not do any good, they will do all wrong thing. So that's how, because people are fearful what will happen in the future. Oh, time factor we may suffer, so let's do the good thing. So Prabhupada writes about that. The ignorant, however ignorant one may be regarding the path of good fortune and the path of darkest region of ignorance, everyone is aware of the influence of time. which devours all the effects of material activities. Everyone knows, समय के साथ सब नष्ट हो जाता है. Either money does not stay or we will not stay. So this time factor, this word is ashashvatam. Nothing remains. Everything is destroyed. Everything is destroyed by time except one thing, that is false ego. False ego is not destroyed by time factor. False ego can be destroyed only by devotional service. Everything else is destroyed by time. This Gajendra tells in his prayers. He says, Jijivishena kim mantar bahishcha vritaye vayonya kale. He says, oh my Lord, I don't want to live now in this body. Such an ignorant body, full of false ego. Externally, this body is dull. Elephant body is dull. And internally also I am covered with ego. Kala will not destroy this. This ego can be destroyed only by devotional service. So Prabhupada writes, the body born at a certain time, the body is born at a certain time and immediately the influence of time acts on it. समय सबको चुपचाप बूढ़ा बना देता है, पता भी नहीं चलते. हम अंकल बोलते थे लोग अभी हमें अंकल बोलते हैं. पता भी नहीं चलता. अरे चले गए, इतने साल चले गए. Decades have passed by. Prabhupada writes, if a man is 30 or 40, 50 years old, the time has already devoured 50 years of his life. Everyone is conscious of the last stages of life when he will meet the cruel hands of death. But some consider their age and circumstances, concern themselves with the influence of time and engage in so that in future they will not be put into the lowly species. Some people who are pious, they know, अरे भाई अच्छे कर्म करेंगे तो अच्छा फल मिलेगा, नहीं तो फिर कहाँ जाएंगे मालूम नहीं. So therefore people, they do some tapasya, they do some austerity, they do some dana, tapa, जो भी करते हैं, क्यों करते हैं? ये जन्म में तो चलो जो मिल गया, नेक्स्ट जन्म शुड बी बेटर. तो क्या है वो भगवत गीता में, क्रियते बहुलायाशाम, दे डू इंटेंस एक्टिविटीज, इंटेंस लॉट्स ऑफ सैक्रिफाइसेस. क्यों? भोगैश्वर्य गतिम प्रति. भोग ऐश्वर्य चाहिए फ्यूचर में. किधर जाना है? स्वर्ग जाना है. तेतम भुक्त्वा स्वर्ग लोकम, स्वर्ग चाहिए. तो वहां पे भी जाके क्या होगा? वहां पर शून्य पुण्यवर्त लोकम शांति, इधर ही आना है. So then Prabhupada writes, one cannot get relief from this chain of birth and death anywhere. Which verse Prabhupada is paraphrasing here? Anyone knows? Brahma bhuvana loka punaravartino Arjuna. Okay, and she continues. She has asked how one can be detached. Please describe about the time factor. And then she glorifies Kapaladev in the next verse. Somebody can read the translation.
My dear Lord, you are just like the sun, for you illuminate the darkness of the conditional life of the living entities, because their eyes of knowledge are not open. They are sleeping eternally in the darkness without your shelter, and therefore they are falsely engaged by the action and reactions of their material activities, and they appear to be very happy.
Okay. Oh, yes. Thank you. He says, you are the sun. Anyone remembers in the beginning of 25th chapter, Devahuti compares Kapil Dev with three things. Anyone remembers what all things she compares him with?
First, acts. You are first is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and other is your Maya, and third is acts. You cut the boundaries by.
सबसे पहले तो क्या बोलते हैं? You are like the
Supreme
वो,
Personality.
हाँ, okay, और
Then that
you
Maya
are the acts.
acts.
You are the transcendental I. You are like the sun. Satchakshu. She says Satchakshu. And then she says that you are like Kutharam. Swabhritya samsar taro Kutharam. You are like the axe. Jigyasyaham prakrite purushasya namami saddharma vidam varishtham. So again in this verse, she's telling you are the sun. You are lokasya, she says in the last line, Tvam avirasa kila yoga bhaskaraha. You are the sun, you are yoga bhaskar. What is the meaning of yoga bhaskar? So you are the revealer of bhakti, jnana, and ashtanga yoga. You reveal all these facts. You are yoga bhaskar. And then she says, Avirasaha, you have appeared in this world. Why you have appeared? You have appeared to destroy the darkness. Mithya abhimati, the false designations of this world, you have come to destroy that. Mithya abhimate, you have come to destroy all the ignorance, the darkness of the conditioned living entities. And therefore, what you have done is, you have done achakshushu anashraye. Achakshushu anashraye means you have given light to those who are blind. Achakshu, jo andhe hain unko aankhein di hain. Their eyes of knowledge are not open. They are sleeping. Jiva jago, Gorachandra bole. आगे क्या? कोतनिद्रा जाओ माया पिशाची न बोले. Wake up, sleeping souls. आजकल लोग डिवोटी लोग अलार्म भी लगाते हैं. उसमें प्रभुपाद का एक लाइन होता है, Wake up, rascal. Till when you will sleep? Wake up. ऐसा wake up का अलार्म लगाते हैं सब. So that's why Lord has appeared in this world to give knowledge, to wake us up. Because we are sleeping. Prasuptasya, this verse says, Chiram prasuptasya tamasi. अरे कब से सोए हैं? बहुत सालों से, बहुत जन्मों से सो रहे हैं. Chiram. We are sleeping in this samsara. Chiram tamasi prasuptasya. We are sleeping in the darkness of ignorance. And we are actually exhausted. We are exhausted by trying to enjoy this material world. And the word used is shrantasya. Shrantasya means we are fatigued. We are fatigued because a living entity tries to exploit this material nature, but you can't exploit material nature after a certain extent. So that's how it is like a blind person who is sleeping. एक तो अंधा है, ऊपर से सो रहा है, कैसे देखेगा वो बताइए? Blind person anyways cannot see. A sleeping blind person, what is the possibility of that person to see? Not possible. So therefore, the Lord appears in this world. He first of all gives light, and then he gives a vision also. That is the thing which Lord does for us. He gives the light, and he gives the eyes of knowledge also, so that we can see. अंधस्य मेरित विवेक महाधनस्य चौरै प्रभो बलिभिरिन्द्रिय नामधेयः मोहान्धकूपकुहरे विनिपातितस्य देवेश देहि कृपणस्य करावलम्बम्. Oh my Lord, I am blinded. क्यों? We don't see with our eyes, we see with our intelligence. A person who has intelligence can see things and analyze things and come to right understanding. Otherwise, a person has no intelligence. Even if he sees something, what is the use of seeing? Because we don't see with our eyes, we see with our intelligence. देखते हैं तो अच्छा इसको टच करना है नहीं करना है, कौन बताता है? Intelligence. So intelligence has two functions. What are the two functions of intelligence? Discrimination and determination. So he says, Andhasya merita vivek, my discrimination power is lost. That's why I have become blinded. Who has stolen my discrimination power? Chaurai prabho balibhir indriyanamadeya. My senses are the thieves. They have stolen my intelligence, stolen my discrimination power. भी अंधा आदमी जंगल में घूम रहा है तो क्या करेगा वो? मोहांधकूपकुहरे विनिपातितस्य, fallen in this deep dark well of material existence. My Lord, please save me. कैसे निकालेंगे कुएं में गिरे हुए व्यक्ति को? उसमें रस्सी देना पड़ेगा उसको. Which rope is given? The rope of devotion. A person, when he falls in this deep dark well of material existence, he is bitten by the snake of desires. मनसि जपानि जुष्टे लब्ध पातोस्मि दुष्टे. मन से क्या जन्म लेता है? What takes birth from the mind? The desires take birth from the mind. So मनसि ज, जो मन से जन्म लेने वाले इच्छाएं हैं, they are like the snakes. मनसि जपानि जुष्टे, they have bitten me. अभी बेचारा कुएं में गिरा हुआ है, सांप भी काट लिया है, अंधा है, फिर क्या होगा उसका बताइए. इतना अच्छा सिचुएशन है. फिर क्या करना पड़ेगा? लब्धपातोऽस्मि दुष्टे, उसमें भी अंधकार है. तिमिर गहन रूपे हंत संसार कूपे. ओ माय लॉर्ड, यू आर अजित, यू आर अनकॉन्करेबल. Ajita Nikhila Raksha, oh my Lord, please protect me. You are Ajita, you never fail in protecting your devotees. Ajita Nikhila Raksha, Hetu Samsara Daksha, you are Daksha, you are expert in protecting your devotees. So therefore, please give Upanayama Mahaste, Bhakti Rajyo Namaste. Please give me the rope of devotion. So that's how the Lord is so wonderful. He gives the eyes, He gives the light, and He gives the rope also. He gives everything. फिर भी हम बोलते हैं नहीं, आज मूड नहीं हो रहा है, next time. So that is a living entity in this world. Never ever wants to come out of this. So Srila Prabhupada writes, it appears that Devahuti is very compassionate for the regrettable condition of people in general who do not know the goal of life and they are sleeping in the darkness of illusion. It is a general feeling of Vaishnava that he should awaken them. Similarly, Devahuti is requesting a glorious sun to illuminate the lives of conditioned souls so that their most regrettable conditional life may be ended. That's why she calls him Yoga Bhaskar, the son of the systems of all, the son of system of yoga. And then Prabhupada writes the same thing. Bhakti yoga is like the sun, illuminates the darkness of conditioned living entities' heart. So after Devahuti, she asks all these questions. Devahuti, Kapil Dev, he starts replying. So in the next verse, Maitreya Muni tells this. Maitreya Uvacha Iti Matu Vachasthakshnam Pratinandya Mahamunihi Abhashe Kuru Sreshta Pritastam Kuru Karunardita.
Maitreya said, O best amongst the Gurus, the great sage Kapila, moved by great compassion and pleased by the words of his glorious mother, spoke as follows. Hare Krishna.
So now Devahuti, she is glorified as a compassionate Mahamuni, Karunarditaha. So Kapila, because Kapil Dev is described as Karunardita. So Devahuti, she asked very compassionately about the condition of living entities. And Kapil Dev, he was also moved by the great compassion. So Prita, he was very pleased. And therefore, he is now speaking. So Lord is always satisfied when a person, when a living entity just doesn't think only of himself or herself, but he thinks of others also. So the principle of compassion is very, very dear to the Lord. That is what attracts the Lord basically. That's why in the 10th canto, when Krishna is with his cowherd friends in Vrindavan, he points to the trees of Vrindavan and says, just see, these trees are so fortunate. Pashyaitan bhagyavan. The trees are unfortunate species, condemned sinful species. क्या महाभाग्यवान है? They are living for others. Parartha ekanta jivita. So that is the definition of fortune. That is the definition of bhagya. पश्यैतान महाभागान, भाग्यवान कौन है? One who lives for others, not living for oneself. So that attracts. Praise the Lord. Anta Jivitan, they are living only for others, tolerating everything. Vat Varsha Tapihiman Sahanto Varayantinaha. And he says, the trees, they give everything. Patra, Pushpa, Phal, Chaya, Mool, Vadi, Gandha, Nirya, Mai Kaman Vitanvate. 9 things trees give. सब कुछ देते हैं. पत्र, पुष्प, फल, छाया, मूल, वल्कल, दारू. दारू means the wood. सब कुछ देते हैं. And then he says this verse, Etavat janma safalyam, the success of life is one who lives for others. Pranair, arthair, dhiya, vacha. With life, with words, with intelligence, with wealth, shreya charanam, work for the welfare of others. So Lord is always satisfied whenever somebody works for others' welfare. And the highest welfare is to bring a person closer to the process of bhakti. So Prabhupada writes, Lord was very satisfied by the request of his glorious mother because she was thinking not only in terms of her personal salvation, but for all the fallen conditioned souls. And then Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita. Whoever preaches Bhagavad Gita, he's very dear to me. कौन सा श्लोक है? 18.67, 68, 69 है शायद. न च तस्मान् मनुष्येषु कश्चन मे प्रियकृतम्. There is nobody dear to me than that person. So now Kapil Dev starts replying. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Bhakti Yogo.
Bhakti Yogo Bhagavato.
Margair Bhamini Bhavyate.
Margair Bhamini Bhavyate.
Svabha Guna Margena.
Svabha Guna
Margena.
The personality of Godhead replied, O noble lady, there are multifarious parts of devotional service in terms of different qualities of the executor.
Yeah. So now he's saying, Bhakti Yogo Bahu Vidho. There are various paths of devotional service. Margai, there are various paths. It is not that there is only one path, there are different ways to execute devotional service. And he says, Bhamini, O worshipable one, O great soul, noble lady, Margair, Bhamini, Bhavyate, Swabhava, Guna Margena. There are multifarious paths in terms of the qualities of executor. There are different types of devotional service in terms of the quality of a person who is executing devotional service. So it is very, very interesting that now Kapil Dev will describe the 3 types of bhakti. Bhakti in the mode of ignorance, bhakti in the mode of passion, bhakti in the mode of goodness. So he says, Kapil Dev has already spoken about the pure devotional service in the 25th chapter. देवानाम गुणलिंगानाम, वहां पे बताया था साधन भक्ति कैसे होती है. So now Kapil Dev in this chapter from 7th to 20 verses, in these verses he is going to describe the various classes of bhakti. They are contaminated by modes. Shuddha bhakti bata diya. Now what is mixed devotion? So this is a very important section because when it comes to the basic principle, are we practicing pure devotion or mixed devotion? Question to all of you.
Process is pure devotion.
Are we practicing pure devotion or mixed devotion?
Pure devotion.
Pure devotion. Pure devotion, Prabhuji, pure devotion.
Sorry.
Our faith is dependent. Our faith is pure, and we are following the process of because our goal is to serve Krishna and achieve Krishna Prem. So our faith is not mixed. Our
Yes.
faith is pure. Maybe our strength of the faith is weak, but the
Hmm.
faith is pure.
Yes.
Prabhuji, mixed devotion.
Mixed devotion. Acha, how many of you feel online, those who are there, can raise your hands if you feel mixed devotion, practicing mixed devotion? And यहाँ पे कितने लोग लगते हैं हम लोग तो मिक्स डिवोशन कर रहे हैं भाई बाकी सब शुद्ध भक्ति वाले हैं बाकी सब शुद्ध भक्ति कर रहे हैं खाली प्रभुनंदन नाम प्रभु मिक्स डिवोशन कर रहे हैं
ये भी मेरे ग्रुप का
धीरे धीरे this is a very, very basic philosophical understanding which everyone should have. What type of bhakti are we practicing? You know what? Why? Because this brings various consequences. If we are not sure whether our bhakti we are practicing is pure or mixed, then we will slowly get distracted to Devata worship. So we'll see what is mixed devotion and what is pure devotion. अभी आप बोल रहे हैं mixed devotion. Why you are practicing mixed devotion? आपको ऐसा क्यों लग रहा है? What is the understanding of mixed devotion?
Because Prabhuji, I have some abhilasha. Although I try, but my goal is pure devotion, but I haven't in that stage yet.
Okay, your goal is pure devotion, but you have desires. So ठीक है चलेगा. Goal तो pure devotion है. So what is the process we are practicing? Process जो है वो शुद्ध है कि अशुद्ध है?
Process is pure devotion.
Process is
तो फिर कौन सी अशुद्ध भक्ति कर रहे हैं आप? मिक्स्ड डिवोशन मतलब क्या है?
Same what she said.
थोड़े
Still our most of the part of our thinking is still in.
We'll see what is mixed devotion.
Okay, we'll see it.
फिर अभी पहले आपसे सुन लेते हैं आपका क्या फिर
प्रभु
सुनेंगे
जी
क्या अंडरस्टैंडिंग है क्या बोलते हैं यस
प्रभु जी माता जी has soul abhilasha. So if she has an alternative abhilasha, not desire, there are difference between the desire and abhilasha. There must be desires are there because of anarthas, but if your abhilasha is something else other than Krishna pray, then definitely you are not doing anya abhilasha shunyam. Anya abhilasha shunyam means anya abhilasha desire नहीं.
अभिलाष क्या कहते हैं क्या है अभिलाष
विराट कुंज जो हुआ
हाँ सो हमारी वो समझिए देयर आर सम वासनास and there are some goals we have. Our anarthas they come because of our previous life of vasanas. I think थोड़ा सा temperature बढ़ाइए थोड़ा गर्म हो गया इसको गड़बड़ है so we have to understand the process which we are following it is pure. I may not be pure of purified of my anarthas because of my previous conditionings, but what is my primary intention of practicing bhakti? That decides whether my bhakti is mixed or pure. Okay. What is the primary intention? So we will see one word. Always use a word.
No.
So he uses one word repeatedly. We will see. So what is mixed devotion and what is the definition of pure devotional service? So when we say we are practicing mixed devotion, what is mixed devotion? What we understand as mixed devotion is not actually mixed according to Krishna. Our tendency to desire some things of this world and our practice of devotional service, they are two different things.
Okay.
Our primary intention to practice bhakti is what?
Krishna praise.
That is our primary motive.
Yes.
Because of our previous anarthas, previous conditionings, we have some desires. But are we practicing bhakti to fulfill those desires?
No.
that decides our bhakti is pure or mixed.
Okay.
So that is very important thing, because when it comes to अरे आप शुद्ध भक्ति कर रहे हैं नहीं ना, देवता वर्शिप करना पड़ेगा, श्राद्ध करना पड़ेगा, और बाकी सब जो भी एक्स्ट्रा वैदिक पैक्स है वो फॉलो करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज वो क्या है वो देवर्षि भूतनाथ नृणाम पितृणाम न किंकरो नायम ऋणी च राजन सर्वात्मनाय शरणम शरण्यम। तो उसमें क्या बोलते हैं, शरण्यम है क्या, सरेंडर आज सरेंडर्ड नहीं ना, तो ये सब करना पड़ेगा आपको। एट विच स्टेज ऑफ लाइफ आर डिवोटी विल से अब मैं सरेंडर्ड हो गया, कभी भी बोलेगा डिवोटी कि अब मैं सरेंडर्ड सोल हो गया हूं, अब मैं ये सब की पूजा नहीं करूंगा, मतलब हमेशा पूजा करना पड़ेगा देवताओं का। So we have to understand, when people say, even devotees have spent years and years, they quote this and say, यहाँ पे तो लिखा है श्राद्ध करना पड़ेगा, देखो देवर्षि शरण्य में क्या शरणागत हुए हैं नहीं ना, करो ये सब। So that's the deciding factor. We can't play with the emotions of devotees and push them to practice devata worship and do shraddh and all the things of the Vedic culture, because अरे आप तो सरेंडर्ड नहीं है, अरे सरेंडर्ड नहीं है मतलब are we practicing bhakti to fulfill our material desires? That is not our primary intention. So we have to understand what is the process of surrender, what is pure devotion, which Krishna is telling here, which Rupa Goswami has stated in this definition of anya abhilashita shunyam. उसमें ज्ञान कर्मादि अनावृतम है ना, ज्ञान कर्म means what, all the Vedic rituals they should be rejected. Okay, we'll continue. We'll see what is pure devotional service and what is mixed. We'll see what is mixed devotional service. Pure to sun liya हमने. So Prabhupada writes in the purport of this: pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness is one, because in pure devotional service there is no demand from devotee to be fulfilled by the Lord. But generally people take to devotional service with a purpose. Says there are 4 types of people who come to Krishna. They are mixed devotees. Their primary motive is what?
Get relief from.
Get something, get relieved, get some knowledge. Their primary motive is not to serve Krishna. आर्तो अर्थार्थी जिज्ञासु ज्ञानी, उनका ये प्राइमरी पर्पस क्या है, मुझे धन चाहिए, धन के लिए भगवान के पास जाएंगे, चलेगा भगवान के पास चले जाएंगे, उसमें क्या है। A person who is distressed because of material conditions becomes a devotee, approaches the Lord for mitigation of distress. One who is in need of money goes to the Lord for improving monetary condition. And others who are not in distress or in need of monetary assistance but seek knowledge. उनको क्या चाहिए, knowledge चाहिए, उसके लिए जा रहे हैं भगवान के पास, भगवान की सेवा करने के लिए नहीं जा रहे हैं। ज्ञानी किसके लिए जा रहे हैं, ज्ञान चाहिए। So actually, Prabhupada writes, the path of devotional service is one without a second. But according to the devotee's condition, devotional service appears in multifarious varieties. So Chakravarti Thakur writes, Kapil Dev has already spoken about pure bhakti, devanam gunalinganam anushravika karmanam sattvaika eveka manaso vritti swabhaviki tuya. 325-32. That was pure devotion service. अब वो बताने वाले हैं भक्ति which is mixed. तामसी भक्ति क्या होती है, राजसी भक्ति क्या होती है, सात्विकी भक्ति क्या होती है. That does not mean bhakti is sattvic, bhakti is rajasic, bhakti is tamasic. Bhakti is pure only. The practitioner of bhakti is in different modes. तो रजोगुणी व्यक्ति है वो जब भक्ति करता है किसके लिए करता है, तमोगुणी व्यक्ति भक्ति करता है तो किसके लिए करता है, सत्वगुणी किसके लिए करता है. So that defines. So 8, 9, 10, these 3 verses describes bhakti in the mode of ignorance, passion and goodness. Abhisandhaya yo himsam dambham matsaryamev va adrikbhavam mayi kuriyat
Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, and who is a separatist, is considered to be in the mode of darkness. Hare Krishna.
So now he describes what is tamasi bhakti. So he says samrambhi, an angry person who is bhinnadrik. So this word bhinnadrik comes again and again. That means separatist mentality. He is not one with the Lord. He has some separate agenda. उसका agenda कुछ तो अलग है लेकिन भक्ति कर रहा है वो. So he is devoid of compassion. यह मई भक्ति यह मई भावम कुर्यात. He practices bhakti, but the main word is abhisandhaya. Abhisandhaya, Chakravarti Thakur writes, with intention. What is the primary intention of practicing bhakti? क्यों कर रहा है? हिंसा, दंभम, मात्सर्यम. Envious, proud, violent. इसके लिए भक्ति कर रहा है. भगवान की भक्ति करेंगे फिर इसको मारेंगे, शक्ति मिलेगा तो. Then I will become more powerful and I will become more famous. So I hate this person. How to destroy this person? मैं तो कृष्ण का भक्ति करके इसको नष्ट करूंगा.
ऐसे आते हैं.
Daksha is example of that. Bhakti in the mode of ignorance. 4th Canto, we'll see. He says, Shiva, though he is destroying the pride of all the Prajapatis. He is, he is a shame. He doesn't wear clothes. He is covered with ashes from the crematorium. He has no etiquettes, no culture. He is markatalochan. ऐसा बहुत गाली देते हैं. बोलते मैं अपने लिए नहीं बोल रहा हूँ ये सब. ये दुनिया का कल्याण करने के लिए बता रहा हूँ कि ये क्या क्या करते हैं. Hatred. So he is doing bhakti. He wants to serve the Lord, but the primary intention is, I want to show that I am greater. Hatred towards others. So that is satamasi. Last word is satamasa. So he has a separatist mentality. He is devoid of compassion. So compassion है ही नहीं. किसी के प्रति दया नहीं है. दया सर्वभूतेषु, उसको है ही नहीं दया. He is doing bhakti to enjoy, to trouble others. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, first, tamasi bhakti is described. One should not say that bhakti becomes tamasi. अरे वंशी थोड़ा शांत हो जाओ. One should not say that bhakti becomes tamasic. Rather, the particular person in question is tamasic. The bhakti to shuddha sattva hai. The person is tamasic. He is angry, he is samrambhi. He does not see happiness and distress equally. He is bhinnadrik. He is devoid of compassion. His goal is violence, pride and hatred. इसके लिए भक्ति करता है.
तो ये लेकिन इसमें कुछ जो सब तो नहीं है लेकिन कुछ है. जैसे I become angry. So that means
primary intention वही है.
intention is
the primary intention is that only.
अभी संध्या is not.
Primary intention है उसका ये भक्ति करने का.
Okay.
He wants to destroy people, hates people. He wants to prove himself better. उसका intention ही वही है.
Then why we call that as bhakti?
क्योंकि भक्ति कर रहा है, भगवान की पूजा कर रहा है ना. वो श्रवणम कीर्तनम विष्णु स्मरणम सब कर रहा है. लेकिन पर्पस क्या उसका?
उसको व्यक्त करना है.
लेकिन पीछे से धोती भी खींच रहा है.
वैसे भी भक्त मिलते हैं हमको. सब जगह मिलते हैं। ISKCON is not a society of pure devotees. ISKCON is a society of साधक भक्ता। तो साधक भक्त अलग अलग मूड में रहते हैं।
तो अभी चल ही रहा है सब जगह,
चल रहा
आ
है,
रहे हैं सब जगह।
देखिए क्या चल रहा है।
खतरनाक आ रहा है
अभी तो क्लासिक एग्जांपल्स दिख रहे हैं आपको। व्हाट इज तमोगुणी भक्ति।
पटना में का जो रीता लो जा रहा है।
तो
नहीं, डिफरेंशिएट कैसे करेंगे? ए नॉर्मल पर्सन हैविंग दैट मत्सर्य एंड ए डिवोटी डूइंग दैट।
ही इज प्रैक्टिसिंग भक्ति ना, जब कर रहा है वो, जब कर रहा है, सेवा भी कर रहा है, क्यों कर रहा है। See, we can't judge anyone. It is a very risky proposal. Because अगर वो बेचारा दुखी हो रहा है, the word used is अपना he repents. 11, 20, 18 या 19 ये 2 श्लोक में ना भगवान बहुत अच्छे से बताते हैं। जात श्रद्धो मत कथासु निर्विन्न सर्वकर्मसु वेद दुखात्मकान कामान परित्यागोप्यनीश्वर जात श्रद्धो। This is 11, 20, 27, 28.
11,
20, 27, 28. And this, Krishna is telling to Uddhav, बेचारा मेरा डिवोटी है ना, वो मेरा डिवोटी, उसकी श्रद्धा है मेरी कथा में।
11 आपने क्या बताया?
11, 20, 27, 28.
11 and 20 canto number.
11th canto,
20th chapter.
20, 27, 20.
So he says, बेचारा मेरा डिवोटी है ना, he wants to serve me. He has developed a little detachment from material world, but क्या करे, वो छोड़ नहीं पाता है वो। Again engages in sense gratification. जहां तक श्रद्धा हो गई उसकी, जन्म हो गया श्रद्धा का, किसमें, मेरी कथा में। निर्विन्ना सर्वकर्मसु, he has given up sense gratification because he knows sense gratification leads to misery. वेद दुखात्मकान कामान, उसको मालूम है, वेद मतलब he knows। बेचारा फिर भी छोड़ नहीं पाता है। परित्यागो अप्यनीश्वर, परित्याग नहीं कर पाता है, लेकिन क्या करता है, ततो भजेत माम प्रीतम, फिर भी मेरी भक्ति करता है, छोड़ता नहीं है। बोले कोई बात नहीं, कितने बार भी गिरेगा चलेगा, लेकिन भक्ति तो छोड़ूंगा नहीं। ततो भजेत माम प्रीत श्रद्धालु दृढ़ निश्चय। All the while, when he engages in sense gratification, he repents for it. Dukkho darkamsha garahayan. So this garahayan defines a sincere devotee and a mixed devotee. If he repents because of his sinful activity, for his sinful activities, then he is a sincere devotee. He is just pushed by his conditionings. वो अपिचे सुदूराचारो भजते माम अनन्य भाग साधुरेव मंतव्य सम्यक व्यवसितो हित क्षिप्रम, जल्दी हो जाएगा, उस महात्मा बन जाएगा वो। So when it comes to judging a devotee, it is a very risky proposal. Of course, we have to take institutional actions, but to judge a devotee is a very risky thing. Why he is doing something? Is he purposefully planning to do sinful activity, or he is pushed by a condition to do a sinful activity? प्लान किया, प्लान करके पाप किया उसने, या फिर बेचारा सर्कमस्टेंशियल फंस गया वो। He didn't plan for it, but he fell down circumstantially, जैसा जामिल। So that defines a person. Is he really doing bhakti in tamoguna, or he is pushed by anarthas? तो भगवान बोलते हैं अपिचेत सुदुराचारो, अरे जल्दी डिवोटी बनेगा मेरा को, बिकॉज मेरा भजन छोड़ नहीं रहा है वो। He repents, he knows कि मैं 50 बार भी गिरूंगा लेकिन उठ के भक्ति ही करूंगा। So when we hear these things, Shastras give some examples, but if we are not in a position to do something, we should not judge people. बहुत रिस्की है वो, अपने हाथ में कुछ नहीं है ना, सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है।
लेकिन अपने बारे में तो सोच सकते हैं ना,
अपने बारे में सोचिए, दूसरों के बारे में मत सोचिए। ये अभी रजोगुणी कर रहा है भक्ति, और ये सत्वगुण में आ रहा है, मैं तो ट्रांसेंडेंटल हुई ऑलरेडी। तो we judge others by their actions, we judge ourselves by our intentions. मैं तो अच्छा ही बोल रहा था, वो मतलब चाहता था अच्छा ही बोलना, लेकिन वो गलत निकल गया, अभी मैं क्या करूं? My intention was good, but we judge others by actions. We don't judge others by their intentions. तो ये बहुत ही रिस्की है. If some pattern is getting repeated again and again, then some conclusion can be drawn. But still, जब अपने को कुछ भी उससे लेना देना नहीं है ना, we should not even dwell on that subject. वो बहुत it creates lots of negativity. It spoils our consciousness. That's why वैष्णव गुणग्राही ना देखाए दोष, काय मनो वाक्य करे वैष्णव संतोष. वैष्णव is गुणग्राही, दोष देखता नहीं है वो. If we have nothing to do with this, just forget it. If we are in this position where we have to find some solution, some conclusion, judgment, then बाल की खाल निकाल लो चलेगा. But if we have nothing to do with it, we are spoiling our own consciousness. So that's why bhakti is very subtle. It is razor's edge. Otherwise, in the name of bhakti, we will spoil our consciousness. We will spoil our bhakti in the name of judging people. ये ऐसे हैं, वो ऐसे हैं, ये तो ऐसा ही कर रहे हैं. वो भगवान और परमात्मा उनके बीच की बात है. परमात्मा जानते हैं, वो जानते हैं वो कौन सी भक्ति कर रहे हैं, वो क्यों ऐसा कर रहे हैं, और क्या होगा उनका. इफ आई एम नॉट इन मैनेजमेंट, आई हैव नथिंग टू डू विद दिस एट ऑल.
खुद को अगर एनालाइज करने के लिए क्या
हाँ, तो खुद को करने के लिए जितना एनालाइज करना करिए ना.
नहीं करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना?
ऑफ कोर्स, ये खुद के लिए है. मैं तो अपने बारे में सोचता ही नहीं हूँ. मैं तो
दूसरे
हम तो केवल दूसरों का ही कल्याण करते हैं. वो गड़बड़ है फिर. तो उसमें बोलते हैं ना, सत्वगुण क्या बोलते हैं, कनिष्ठ मध्यम उत्तम अधिकार होता है ना. तो जीव गोस्वामी बोलते हैं उसमें भी 3 स्टेज. एक्चुअली इसमें भी बताते हैं विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर से, ये तमोगुणी भक्ति भी 3 प्रकार की होती है. वो बताऊंगा अभी. सो इसे वो जीव गोस्वामी बोलते हैं कि कनिष्ठ में भी 3 होता है. कनिष्ठ 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 मध्यम कनिष्ठ उत्तम. मध्यम कनिष्ठ मध्यम 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 उत्तम.
देखा था हम लोगों ने.
और उत्तम में भी ऐसा होता है, उत्तम कनिष्ठ उत्तम मध्यम उत्तम. तो ये सब सुन के हमको कनिष्ठ कनिष्ठ बोल ये अभी मध्य में पहुंच रहा है. अरे वो दूसरों के लिए नहीं है, वो अपने लिए है. हम किधर पहुंचे अभी. So that's this knowledge we should not use it to kill people. ये अभी ज्ञान का अस्त्र मिला है मेरे को, मारो इसको पकड़ के, कहाँ पे गया वो. It is for our own analysis, so that we know where we are and where we want to go. So बहुत ही शूरस्य धारा निशिता दुरत्या दुर्गम पथस्तत् कवयो वदन्ति. It is like a razor's edge. तो क्या करना है, महाजनो ये नगता सपंता.
My own analysis के लिए, if we take the example of Daksha openly insults enviousness. In our thing also we have envious. We will say we are not insulting anybody, so enviousness मेरे पास नहीं है करके. Daksha openly does that.
We may not be.
We will say we are not in that level, so we are happy.
हाँ, मतलब हम लोग इतने गए गुजरे तो नहीं है हम लोग अभी. But at least हम लोग गाली तो नहीं दे रहे हैं डिवोटीज को. हम और मरकट वचन तो नहीं बोल रहे हैं डिवोटी को. So Shastras, they give extreme examples always, because extreme examples they shake people. ऐसा थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ किया तो उसमें क्या मजा है बताने में. मजा तो तब है जब बड़ी वाली गड़बड़ की है किसने, तब तो एक्साइटमेंट होता है, सुनने में मजा आता है. और क्या ऐसा गाली कैसे दे सकता है दक्ष. How can you call Lord Shiva is a charachar guru? That's what really shocks Vidurji. बोले दक्षा दुहित्र वत्सल है and Shiva is charachar guru. He is the master of all the living entities. How can Daksha and Shiva fight? ये ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है?
तो कौन बोलता है?
विदुर जी पूछते हैं मैत्रेय मुनि को
ओके।
कि भाई ऐसा हुआ कैसे? तो
हाँ,
इसके पहले वो बताते हैं कि सती हैड नो चाइल्ड बिकॉज देयर वाज अ conflict between Shiva and Daksha.
Yeah.
So because of that, Sati burnt herself. तो फिर ये क्वेश्चन आता है, तो ऐसा सब है. Extreme examples are always given so that we can understand this, severity of the situation. भाई किस लेवल पे जा सकता है ये envy? I may not be at that level, but that is what I can go up to. ये envy का लेवल यहाँ तक भी जा सकता है. I can do anything in envy. So फिर भक्ति काम नहीं आता है, भक्ति याद नहीं आती फिर. Then we अरे भक्ति गया, ये भक्त तो होगा बाद में, ऐसा कैसे कर सकता है ये? So it is very important to practice this principle of a lifetime project है वो. So anyways, हम लोग अभी सुनेंगे तामसी भक्ति क्या होती है. he quotes विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर quotes from बृहन नारदीय पुराण. तामसी भक्ति की भी 3 प्रकार की होती है. So in this, some conversation is happening. O king, who worships with faith the Lord with a goal to destroy another person. That is तामसी भक्ति of lowest grade. मतलब भक्ति करूंगा और इसको मारना है मेरे को, वो lowest है. He who, like a prostitute, worships the master Narayan with cheating mentality. His bhakti is of medium grade. Cheating करना है मेरे को, सस्ते में मजा ज्यादा मिल जाए तो भक्ति करूंगा, भगवान से मांगूंगा तो मिल जाएगा. Third, he who worships the Lord in a competitive after देवतास. ये लोग इतना पूजा कर रहे हैं, मैं और पूजा करूंगा, मेरा मान सम्मान ज्यादा होना चाहिए. I am envious of these devtas, so I'll do bhakti to become more famous than them. मैं किसी का नुकसान नहीं कर रहा हूँ, चीटिंग भी नहीं कर रहा हूँ, भक्ति करके I want to become better than these devtas because I am envious of them. That is a तामसी भक्ति में सबसे ऊपर है. किसी का बुरा तो नहीं कर रहे हैं. So that is तामसी. वैसे इस रजोगुणी भी 3 प्रकार की होती है, सात्विकी भी 3 प्रकार की होती है. Okay, so Srila Prabhupada writes, it is already stated in Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 2nd chapter. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti adhokshaje. That is the highest pure devotional service. The only motive should be to please the Lord. That is not actually a motive. मतलब बोलते हैं ना, motive should be to please. That is not a motive. That is a constitutional position. That is pure condition. But in the conditioned state, when one engages in devotional service, he should follow the instructions of Guru, who is a representative of the Lord. It is described in Bhagavad Gita that the teachings therein should be received by disciplic succession. कौन सा श्लोक? एवं परंपरा प्राप्तम.
Parampara.
Yeah, parampara praptam. And one who, second paragraph, Prabhupada describes a little bit about this tamasi bhakti. One who approaches the Supreme Lord to render bhakti, but who is proud of his personality. मैं इतना बड़ा डिवोटी हूं ना, सब लोग तो अभी अभी भक्ति करना शुरू किया, मैंने तो उनको माला पकड़ा है, मालूम है. That is tamasi bhakti. Proud, one who is proud of his personality. मैं लेक्चर देता हूँ ना तो ऐसा लोग एकदम ऐसा मेस्मराइज, मुंह खुला खुला रह जाता है, मालूम है. मतलब एग्जैजरेशन है, बट स्टिल दैट इज प्राइड. वन हू इज एनवियस ऑफ अदर्स. मैं और ये साथ में भक्ति करना शुरू किए, ये इतना आगे कैसे निकल गया मेरे से, everybody is glorifying him, nobody even acknowledges my presence. Envious. One who is vengeful. He thinks that he is the best devotee. मतलब मेरे से बड़ा कोई है क्या? देवा हो देवा, गणपति देवा, और तुम्हारे भक्तगणों में हमसे बढ़कर कौन है? मतलब कौन सा भक्ति है? हमसे भक्ति है. Of course, bhakti to devata is not bhakti, but devotional service executed in this way is not pure. it is of the lowest grade. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur advises that a Vaishnava who is not of good character should be avoided.
Should be
Avoided.
avoided.
Who should never be disrespected. We'll find devotees of all these grades. We should respectfully keep distance from them. Don't criticize them. Don't insult them. Just stay away from them if we have nothing to do with them. But if we are in a position to correct them, to teach them, then only we should do it. Otherwise, stay away. Avoid such people. A Vaishnava is one who has taken the Supreme Lord as ultimate goal of life, who is not pure and still has motives. He is not a Vaishnava of a first order. वैष्णव है वो, लेकिन फर्स्ट ऑर्डर का वैष्णव नहीं है. क्या करना चाहिए? There are 4 types of dealings. Those who are ईश्वरे तद अधीनेषु बालिशेषु द्विसत्सु च प्रेम मैत्री कृपा उपेक्षा यः करोति समध्यम. So Madhyam Adhikari, what he does, he has 4 types of dealings with 4 types of people. He loves Krishna, makes friends with devotees, shows mercy to the innocent, and neglects the envious. So if some devotee is having bad character, just avoid him. Don't sit with him and think, आज तो इसको प्योर डिवोटी बना के रहेंगे, आज पूरा भक्ति योग क्लास डाउनलोड करेंगे इसे. Stay away from them if we have nothing to do with them. If we are not in a position to correct them, don't do it. One may offer respects to such a Vaishnava because he has accepted the Lord as ultimate goal. Very important. Respect. उसका स्वरूप लक्षण और गौण लक्षण. Every Vaishnava has a Swarup Lakshan and Gauna Lakshan. Swarup Lakshan of a Vaishnava is he has accepted the Supreme Lord as the goal of life. Gauna Lakshan kya hai? He has anarthas, he has conditionings, he has some other desires. So just see the Swarup Lakshan, offer respects and stay away. One should not keep company with a Vaishnava who is in the mode of ignorance. तामसी भक्तों के साथ नहीं बैठना है. That is तामसी bhakti. Okay, what is now Rajoguni bhakti? Any questions on this? Okay, ठीक है. So basically when we hear such people, such things, we can analyze people if we have to engage them in service. अगर किसी को सेवा में लगाना है, तब देखिए ये सेवा के लिए ये suitable है कि नहीं. Then judge that person. What does he want from this? मेरा नाम होगा. कुछ लोग नाम के लिए भक्ति करते हैं, कुछ क्या होता है, कुछ नाम जप करते हैं, कोई नाम के लिए जप करते हैं. मेरा नाम होगा, मैं जप कर रहा हूं, मैंने हर एकादशी को 64 माला करने का वचन लिया, मालूम है. नाम के लिए जप कर रहे हैं, मेरा नाम होगा. So when we have to engage somebody in seva, then judge. ये कौन सा भक्त है, अच्छा कैरेक्टर है, सेवा क्यों करना चाहता है. Then we have to do it. But still, that should be done with great caution. ऐसा नहीं कि इसको सुन लो भाई, भरी सभा में बता रहा हूं, ये जो है ना डिवोटी, इसको बिल्कुल सेवा नहीं देंगे हम. We should do it very sensitively because everyone is in the process of getting purified. Bhakti purifies everyone. अभी वो जो तमोगुणी भक्ति कर रहा है, he may come to सत्वगुणी भक्ति and beyond शुद्ध सत्व भक्ति. But the way we correct people, they should not alienate them. There should be constructive criticism, not destructive criticism. Well, आज के बाद तो सेवा करूंगा ही नहीं, जाओ. ऐसा कोई बोलता है, ऐसा कोई बताता है, ठीक से बताना चाहिए ना. So we should be very careful. Otherwise, they'll become offenders. We will offend them and they will become offenders. They will also offend other devotees. They'll criticize, they'll give all the bad words. Very careful. Okay, so now the performer of bhakti in the mode of passion, वो क्या करता है? विषयान अभिसंधाय यश ऐश्वर्यमेव वा चादापर्चयेद्यो माम् पृथक् भावस्य राजसः.
In the temple by separatists with a motive for material enjoyment, fame and opulence is devotion with the mode of passion.
Abhisandhaya, this word is coming again and again. Abhisandhaya, abhisandhaya. So अभी जिन्होंने बोला है कि मेरी भक्ति मिक्स्ड है, अभी देखिए अभी तमोगुणी में आती है क्या?
तमोगुणी का है एंग्री, आई गेट
प्राइमरी इंटेंशन. हाँ, वो याद रखिए.
ओके, समझ गया.
Our intention, primary intention क्या है?
I am not doing bhakti to destroy.
हाँ.
और
क्या कोई है नहीं ना इधर?
नहीं.
कौन है?
नहीं ऐसा कुछ
मजाक कर रहे हैं, हमको मालूम है ऐसा नहीं है. So he says, Archavad, Archadav, Archayed. So this devotee is worshipping me, Archayed Yoma. For what? What is this Prithak Bhava? Prithak Bhava comes again and again, पहले में भी आया था पृथक भाव. वहां पे भिन्न त्रिक, उसमें भिन्न त्रिक आया था ना, 8th में भिन्न त्रिक, उसमें पृथक भाव, that is separatist mentality. So his separatist mentality is what? He wants Vishayan, Yash and Aishwarya. He wants sense objects, he wants fame, and he wants wealth. That is a primary motive to practice bhakti. Who was doing an example from scriptures?
थोड़ा सा ध्रुव का भाव था.
थोड़ा नहीं, पूरा वही था. He is the classic example of a person who was practicing bhakti in the mode of passion. He wanted क्या?
चित्रकेतु का भी वैसे.
नहीं, वो उसका श्लोक याद कर रहा था. नहीं, चित्रकेतु उनका तो भक्ति का नहीं था, वो तो नारद मुनि ने उनको डिवोटी बनाया. पदम त्रिभुवन उत्कृष्टम जिगीषो साधु में. Dhruva wanted that. I want a position greater than Brahma, my great grandfather. ये तीनों लोगों से बड़ा साम्राज्य चाहिए. I am very clear about my intentions. मेरे को तो यही चाहिए भाई. But the process of bhakti is so powerful, Krishna purifies that. So a person who practices bhakti in tamogun or rajogun or sattvagun, ultimately they will come to Shuddha Sattva Bhakti, pure devotional service. So separatist mentality is what? What is Prithak Bhava here? He desires objects other than the Lord. आप नहीं चाहिए, ये सब चाहिए मेरे को. आप मुझे बस दे दीजिए, बस. आप खुश, मैं भी खुश. सत्यम दिशत्यर्थितम अर्थितो निणाम नैवार्थदो यत् पुनरर्थिताम यत. ये भी मैंने कितने बार बोला होगा नहीं श्लोक. स्वयं विधत्ते भजताम अनिच्छताम. अनिच्छताम, उसको इच्छा नहीं है भाई. आप मत आइए मेरे जीवन में. आई ओनली वांट दिस. कृष्ण से ऐसा होता ही नहीं. 1+1 3 आता है.
ये कौन से कैंटो का है?
सत्यम दिशति. This is 5th canto. I think the residents of Jambu Dweep are offering prayers. सत्यम दिशत्यर्थितम अर्थितो निणाम. बोलता हूं, नंबर बोलता हूं. सत्यम दिशति. This is 5:19:27. भगवान देते हैं.
तो ये कैसे भक्ति होगी फिर? I don't want you, I want other things.
तो भक्ति भगवान की सेवा कर रहा है ना.
भक्ति कर रहा है, लेकिन वो तो उसका भाव ये है.
तो वो भी भक्ति है.
ओके.
भगवान भावग्राही है ना.
ओके, समझ गया, अभी समझ गया.
तो मेरा भक्ति कुछ ना कुछ तो कर रहा है ना.
भक्ति ही समझ रहे हैं.
उसको भी दे देते हैं. And then he comes himself also.
Okay.
So his primary motive of this Rajoguni Bhakta is Vishayan, Yash and Aishwarya. ये 3 चाहिए मेरे को भी.
तो भगवान को किसी ने एक मतलब एक ने प्रभु जी एक महाराज जी बता रहे थे कि किसी ने अब पिचकारी मारी पानी की, तो ये बोला कि मेरे को रंगा दे, मेरे मंदिर को रंग मार दिया, ऐसा करके भगवान ने कुछ समझा। भगवान इतने बड़े दिल वाले कि वो समझते हैं। वो चूहे ने कुछ ये खाया था,
हाँ,
खुद जल गया, राउंड किया।
वो तो
दामोदर का महिमा है।
महिमा है दामोदर।
भावग्राही जनार्दन, मतलब द पर्पस ऑफ ऑल दीज स्टोरीज इज, अच्छा ये भी कर सकते हैं क्या? अरे वाह, द पर्पस, वो उसमें बोलते हैं ना, यमराज बोलते हैं दूतों को, अरे देखो ये हरिनाम क्या है वो, अम, हरे महात्म, हरे पश्यत पुत्र का अजामिनोपि अगाधाम किमुत श्रद्धया गृह्णन्. Just see the glories of the names of the Lord. How Lord is so merciful. अरे ये अजामिल ने अपने बच्चे को बुलाया और उसको भी मुक्ति मिल गई. So विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर gives the purport. He called the name of his son, not the supreme Lord. Still he got benefited. अगर डायरेक्टली भगवान का नाम लेगा तो कितना लाभ होगा? He didn't, he called the name of the Lord at the end of the life. तो इतना फायदा हो गया. तो जीवन भर जो लेगा, how much he'll be benefited? He called the name of Lord without any faith. If somebody chants with faith, how much he'll be benefited? So all these extreme examples are given to show that अरे ये करने से भी इतना होता है, तो अच्छे से करेंगे तो कितना मिलेगा. बट अपना उल्टा ही चलता है दिमाग, अच्छा इतने से भी मिलता है क्या? अरे वाह. That is not the purpose of all these concessions mentioned in scriptures. And especially for devotees, it should not be a question at all to even think of these things. ये तो ऐसे लोगों के लिए है जो भक्ति में आए ही नहीं है और उनको मालूम भी नहीं है, just to entice them, tempt them. अरे भाई कैसे तो आ.
एक बार तो नाम ले.
For a devotee, otherwise it will become a business. So प्रहलाद बोलते हैं, I am not a varniko, my lord. I am not a businessman. आपको भक्ति मैंने तो कुछ मांगने के लिए थोड़ा ना किया है. For a devotee, it is not a question also कि वो जितना भी महात्म्य रहता है, भागवत में भी there are many फलस्तुति given. ये पढ़ेंगे तो ये होगा ऐसा होगा. That is for those who are not devotees. Bhagavatam appeals to everyone. For devotees, for non-devotees, for jnanis, for karmis, सबके लिए वो. Okay, so Prabhupada writes, the word separatist must be understood carefully. Sanskrit words in this connection are भिन्नद्रिक and पृथक भाव. पिछले श्लोक में भिन्नद्रिक था. In this verse it is पृथक भाव. A separatist is one who sees his interest as separate from that of the Lord. I don't want the Lord, I want things from the Lord. So mixed devotees in passion and ignorance think that the interest of the Lord is supplying the orders of the devotee. But the Lord is the order supplier. He is a cosmic bellboy. घंटी बजाओ, हुंडी में डालो, आ जाएगा जो भी चाहिए. The interest of such devotees is to draw from the Lord as much as possible for their own sense gratification. मतलब अंत में बेसिक पर्पस क्या? मजा करना है. अच्छा, भगवान की भक्ति करने से मजा करना मिलेगा, करेंगे, उसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम है? This is separatist mentality. You will find people who are worshipping Krishna, who are doing elaborate worship, but what they want, वो भी भक्ति कर रहे हैं लेकिन वो शुद्ध भक्ति नहीं कर रहे हैं. Such people you will find many in India. भगवान की बहुत अच्छे से भक्ति करेंगे. पर्पस क्या है? They are doing भक्ति but not शुद्ध भक्ति. हमको शुरू से ही शुद्ध भक्ति देती आया है. ना धनम ना जन्म ना सुंदरी कविता. मैं तो ये सब धनम जन्म सुंदरी कविता के लिए आया था यहाँ पे, तो ना लगा रहे हैं शुरू में. So that is the thing which Mahaprabhu is giving, the pure devotional service. ये तो दुनिया तो वही कर रही है, रजोगुणी तमोगुणी सत्वगुणी भक्ति.
One more question. Like, he is not demanding that devotee is doing seva. he is not, he doesn't have any motive also, but as a bhakti का जो by product है, मतलब automatically he gets some
He gets,
benefits also.
yes,
But now we have a standards like Rupa and Sanatana Goswami that Radharani story है ना, she bring the kheer or and something. हाँ, सनातन गोस्वामी का कथा है, तो वो भी वो रिजेक्ट कर देते, वो इतना लेवल का ये मतलब इट्स टू मच थिंक.
तो आपको कौन बोल रहा है वो लेवल पे सोचने के लिए?
नहीं बहुत बता रहा.
हमको अपने लेवल पे काम करना है. अपना लेवल जो है, वर्क एट दैट लेवल. We can't work at the level where we are not. Raghunath Das Goswami, one time he would drink छाछ once in 3 days, buttermilk. एक बार उनका सर्वेंट उनके लिए छाछ लेके आया और बाद में उनको बताया ये ना, जो पत्ता है ना, पत्ता है वो चंद्रावली के गांव का है. फेंक दिया उन्होंने. आई विल नॉट ड्रिंक दिस, ये चंद्रावली के गांव का है, हम तो राधा रानी वाले पार्टी के हैं.
अरे बाप रे.
तो अपने लिए तो बाबा ये सब क्या है, क्या चल रहा है? अपने लिए चंद्रावली, राधा रानी सब, वी आर लाइट ईयर्स अवे फ्रॉम दैट. सो हम तो सोच ही नहीं सकते ना चंद्रावली के गांव का है कि राधा रानी के गांव का है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? अपना तो काम क्रोध लोभ मोह इधर ही बैंड बज रहा है अपना. अपने को क्या भी राधा रानी और चंद्रावली से लेना देना है? मतलब उनके गांव कौन से, किसके गांव से? सो एट आवर लेवल वी शुड वर्क where we are. So they were at that level, therefore, they were thinking like that. And we have to reach that level. But where are we now? There also we should keep working so that gradually we rise in our process of bhakti. अचानक एक दिन नहीं होगा कि वहां पहुंच जाएंगे. We have to work on it. We have to consciously work on increasing our level of devotional service from selfish to selfless. And how selfless we become in our process of bhakti, to that extent we attract Krishna's mercy.
Okay.
Because ultimately spiritual world is all about selfless devotion. कृष्णेंद्रिय प्रीतिवांछा तारे बोली, आत्मेंद्रिय प्रीतिवांछा तारे बोली काम, कृष्णेंद्रिय प्रीति इच्छा धरे प्रेम नाम. Nothing for me. That is the highest devotion exhibited by gopis. पतिसुतान्वयात् भ्रातृ बांधवात् अति विलंघ्यते तच्युता. सब कुछ छोड़ के आए आपके पास. Okay. So Prabhupada writes, one who serves the Lord with this, कि भाई जितना चाहिए निकालना है निकाल सकते हैं भगवान से, as much as possible draw from Lord. This is separatist mentality. Actually, the pure devotion is explained in previous chapter. So Prabhupada writes about that. The devotee does not want anything. When the so-called devotee desires material enjoyment without reference to the interest of the Supreme Lord, or he wants to become famous or opulent by utilizing the mercy or grace of the Lord, then he is in the mode of passion. So we should be very, very careful. Otherwise, from pure devotion, when we switch to mixed devotion, it will not take us time. So we have to be really careful, because these tendencies, we all have these tendencies. But if we are not careful, we will start working to fulfill these tendencies. Then the problem starts. When our bhakti becomes primarily guided by these desires, then the problem starts. Then we fall under mixed devotion. अभी तो शुद्ध भक्ति कर रहे हैं, बट शुद्ध भक्ति से मिक्स्ड में कब आ जाएंगे पता नहीं चलता है. If we are not very careful, it is very, very sensitive gray line. In the name of yukta vairagya, when the vairagya will go and yukta will remain. So बहुत ही dangerous है. So that's why we have to be always careful.
क्या टिप्स क्या, how to take care?
आप लोग बताइए. सब मैं ही बोलूंगा तो कैसे चलेगा? Yes. How to be careful that we don't fall into रजोगुणी भक्ति. तमोगुणी तो चलो नहीं करेंगे, रजोगुण की भक्ति करना आसान है, उसमें पड़ जा सकते हैं. And we don't, worst thing is we won't even realize that we are doing Rajoguni Bhakti. Because at the back of the mind will keep on saying, अरे आप तो शुद्ध भक्ति कर रहे हैं, आप तो अच्छे के लिए कर रहे हैं, बस थोड़ा और अल्टीमेटली भक्ति अच्छे से हो रहा है ना, तो इसके लिए ये भी यूज करो, वो भी यूज करो, सब यूज करो। आपका नाम क्यों होगा? ताकि लोग इस्कॉन से जुड़ेंगे, मेरे से जुड़ेंगे तो इस्कॉन से जुड़ेंगे, So that's how the trap starts. When we keep giving ourselves more attention, भाई मेरे से जुड़ रहा है, मैं इतना प्रचार करके लोगों को ला रहा हूं कृष्ण के चरणों में, मैं ला रहा हूं, मालूम है? So when this मैं becomes prominent, then we go from Shuddha Bhakti to Rajoguni Bhakti. That is very sensitive.
We should not take credit to ourselves. That is the first step.
That is important. Okay. Then, now after describing the Rajoguni and Tamoguni Bhakti, in the 10th verse, he describes Sattvaguni Bhakti क्या होती है। कर्म निरहारम उद्दिश्य परस्मिन् वा तदर्पणम् पृथक् भावस्य सात्विकः
activities in order to free himself from the inabilities of ritual activities. Goodness.
Okay, so now the devotee who is in the mood of goodness, what is the abhisandhaya? What is the intention, primary intention of this devotee? Karma nirharam uddishya. मुझे अपने कर्मों को नष्ट करना है, बहुत पाप किए होंगे मैंने, भक्ति करूंगा तो कर्म निकल जाएंगे जिससे कि मैं पूरा एकदम पुण्यवान हो जाऊंगा। कर्म निरहारम उद्दिश्य and परस्मिन् वा तदर्पणम, for that he makes an offering to the Lord also. भगवान को ही अर्पण करता है, क्यों? पर्पस क्या है? I want to become free from sins. यष्टव्यम इति वा, और executes worship as a duty also. मेरा कर्तव्य है भगवान की सेवा करना, वो सब करता है वो। यष्टव्यम इति वा, but what is पृथक भाव? He has a desire for liberation. मुक्ति चाहिए मेरे, मैं भक्ति किसके लिए कर रहा हूँ? मुक्ति चाहिए, मुक्ति चाहिए, भगवान नहीं चाहिए, मुक्ति चाहिए। He becomes free from the cycle of birth and death, but doesn't want to serve the Lord. So that is the
He is serving Lord in order to get mukti.
mukti, yeah. So that is the understanding. So Prabhupada writes, so, because pure devotee does not aspire liberation. They don't want to get liberated. Liberation, although we at a certain level of bhakti we think that बस मुक्ति चाहिए भाई, इधर से निकलना है, but when we advance in the process of devotional service, mukti is not the primary guiding force. Service is the guiding force. सेवा करना है, मुक्ति नहीं चाहिए मेरे को, जहां कहीं भी रखो सेवा में रखो। सालोक्य, this verse will come. Next are powerful verses 11, 12, 13, 14, सब जबरदस्त है एकदम। और 13th में बोलते हैं devotee, he renders service wherever he is, he doesn't want liberation. So Srila Prabhupada writes, all these 4 varnas and ashrams, they act for some benefit. In accordance with their personal interests. Therefore, such activities are in the mode of goodness. So basically, all these varnashram duties, they are bhakti in the mode of goodness. Ultimately, moksha चाहिए ना, धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष, वो भक्ति है, but not शुद्ध भक्ति. That is bhakti in the mode of goodness. So Prabhupada writes, they cannot be counted in the category of pure devotion. Prabhupada writes, varnashram जो है वो pure devotion नहीं है, that is mixed devotion. And then Prabhupada writes, what is pure devotion? Anya vilashita shunyam. So devotional service should be transcendental to jnana and karma. Jnana karmadi anavritam. Devotional service in the modes of ignorance, passion, and ignorance can be divided into 81 categories. 81 कैसे है? वो ये नवविधा भक्ति जो है उसका कुछ तो परम्यूटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन प्रभुपाद ने करके 81 बोले आए। मैंने भी ट्राई किया था बट आई कुड नॉट अंडरस्टैंड हाउ ही इज डूइंग दिस कैलकुलेशन। 9 into 3 फिर 3 into 3 अगेन ऐसा कुछ तो कर रहे हैं प्रभुपाद। बट एनीवेज ही सेज 81 किसको डिवाइड कर रहे हैं? श्रवणम कीर्तन, द नवविधा भक्ति, ऑल दीज थिंग्स कैन बी परफॉर्म्ड इन 3 मोड्स। सरेंडर भी करूंगा तो कुछ चाहिए मेरे को, तो ऐसा है।
9 3s are 27 keys are.
Prabhupada gives the calculation. He says all these different activities, each can be divided into 3 qualitative groups. There is hearing the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. Similarly, chanting the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. So 3 multiplied by 9 equals 27. And when again multiplied by 3, it becomes 81. So basically, all these are different shades of mixed devotion. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a big purport to this. He says, he worships.
तो मुझे इसमें ऐसे होगा 9 फिर ये 3 और वो आपने कनिष्ठ पद्य में ये बताया ना, वो
I don't know because Chakravarti Thakur also doesn't write anything about that. I asked few devotees, but I could
कनिष्ठ
not
मध्यम
get.
उत्तम 3 ये आपका ये 3
सत्वगुण रजोगुण
सत्वगुण रजोगुण 3
Okay.
और 9 3 are 7 and
27 into 3.
81 ऐसा होगा
Maybe. Okay, so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, he worships with the intention of destroying karma. His goal is to destroy karma. बस ये विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर का पढ़ रहा हूं मैं कमेंट्री। He worships in such a way that his actions are offered to the Lord. He performs bhakti, hearing chant, सब करता है वो। He worships the Lord, offers to the Lord. According to his ashram, he will do everything nicely, but desire क्या है? What is prithak bhava? He wants liberation. So thus, the 9 different types of bhakti, the 3 types of sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, are successively superior. Okay. अभी क्या होता है यहाँ पे? सात्विक भक्ति से क्या होता है? सात्विक भक्ति produces some knowledge. सात्विक भक्ति में थोड़ा ज्ञान आता है. And when jnana becomes secondary and bhakti is prominent, then it is called as jnana mishra bhakti. ज्ञान मिश्र भक्ति से क्या मिलता है मालूम? ज्ञान मिश्र भक्ति can take one to shantarati. Even mixed devotion, mixed bhakti can take one to shanta bhav. And if the jnana predominates and bhakti is secondary, ज्ञान मार्ग से क्या मिलता है? Liberation. One goes to impersonal Brahman liberation. And then he says, when the bhakti is mixed with karma, such as यज्ञ करेंगे, दान करेंगे, तप करेंगे, सब कर्मा भक्ति में ऐड कर रहे हैं, and it produces salokya liberation. उससे भी सालोक्य मुक्ति मिलती है। कर्म मिश्र भक्ति से सालोक्य। If one performs bhakti and offers some karmas without the desire for results, it produces shantarati. अगर कर्म भक्ति कर रहा हूं, थोड़ा कर्म से उसका रिजल्ट भी चाहिए तो सालोक्य मिल जाएगा। कुछ इच्छा नहीं है तो शांतरति मिल जाएगी। So ऐसा बहुत सारा है. We'll not go into the detail of what it gives us. After describing all these different types of mixed devotion, then now 11, 12, 13, 14, these 4 verses he describes pure bhakti, which is beyond the 3 modes. The qualities of pure bhakti which are mentioned in that 3:25, 32 verse, देवानाम गुणलिंगानाम आनुश्रविक कर्मणाम, वो वाले में जो बताया है उसका क्वालिटी अभी बता रहे हैं, डिटेल में बता रहे हैं. Very, very powerful verses. These are the definitions of pure devotional service. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the first chapter, the 6 secondary characteristics are described. उसके पहले वाले पैराग्राफ में प्रभुपाद writes primary characteristics of devotional service. उसमें ये जो 2 श्लोक हैं दे आर कोटेड देयर। मद्गुण श्रुति मात्रेण मयि सर्वगुहाशये मनोगतिरविच्छिन्ना यथा गंगांब समंबुधौ लक्षणं भक्ति निर्गुणस्ति उदारितम् अहेतुकी अव्यवहिता या भक्ति पुरुषोत्तमे।
The manifestation of unadulterated devotional service is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name and qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is residing in everyone's heart. Just as the water of the Ganges flows naturally down towards the ocean, such devotional ecstasy, uninterrupted by any material condition, flows towards the Supreme Lord.
Madguna Shruti Matrena, just by hearing my qualities, my Sarvaguhashaye, I am the Lord who is residing in everyone's heart. If somebody hears about my qualities, Manogati Avichinna. Avichinna means continuously if one hears about my qualities. Like the Ganga, which flows to the oceans continuously. Nobody can stop the flow of Ganga. Just like Kunti Maharani, what she prays. Kunti Maharani भी similar बोलते हैं. तोई में अनन्य विषया मति मधुपते सकृत रतिमुद्वहता मध्या गंगे भोगमुदन्वति. Oh my Lord, just like the Ganga flow towards the ocean, let my mind always go towards your lotus feet. So he says, the devotees who have their mind fixed on hearing my qualities, for them, their mind goes towards me just like Ganga flows to the ocean. Then he says, Lakshanam. This quality of devotional service, Lakshanam Bhakti Yogasya, this Bhakti Lakshana, which is Nirguna, which is beyond the 3 modes. It is Ahetuki, Avyavahita, it is without any other ulterior motive, Hetu, और कोई हेतु नहीं है. अव्यवहिता, nobody can stop the practice of devotional service. या भक्ति पुरुषोत्तमे. So Prabhupada writes about the basic principle of this unadulterated devotional service is love of God. Madguna Shruti Matrina means hearing the qualities. These qualities are called Nirguna because Lord He is not without any qualities, He is without any material qualities. And therefore He is attractive to the pure devotee. There is no need to practice meditation to attain such attraction. It is a natural attraction for a devotee, just like the Ganga flows naturally towards the ocean. And the word avichinna means without interruption. No material condition can stop the flow of devotional service. One can perform bhakti in any situation. No, nothing can stop the practice of bhakti. कुछ भी हो, कोई भी परिस्थिति हो, there are no obstacles. And bhakti is ahetuki also. It is without any reason. And it is avyavahita, without any cessation. So avichinna, without interruption. Ahetuki, without any reason. And avyavahita, without any cessation. कभी रुकता नहीं है, उसमें कभी भी कोई रुकावट नहीं डाल सकता और उसके लिए कोई कारण नहीं है. क्या चाहिए? I don't want anything, oh my Lord. So that's how, just like the river that holds nothing back, nothing can hold the river back. That is a devotee. Nothing can stop a devotee from practicing devotional service. So that is the process of pure devotional service. निषिध्यमाना पतिभिर्भ्रातृभिः बन्धुभिः सुतैः भगवति उत्तम श्लोके दीर्घश्रुत धृताशया. All the Brahman patnis, they were stopped by their husbands, their sons, their relatives. निषिध्यमाना रोका गया. किसने रोका? पति भी, भ्रातृ भी, बंधु भी, सुतई, सब रोक रहे हैं, मत जाओ मत जाओ मत जाओ. But they have heard about Krishna a lot. दीर्घ श्रुत धृत आशया. They have heard a lot about Krishna. So they left everything. Similarly, pati sutanvayat bhratr bandhavat ati vilangyate rachyutagata. So that's how Gopi. So Chakravarti Thakur writes, the qualities of pure bhakti mentioned in 3:25-32 are mentioned again for easy understanding. तो पहले बताया है, वही बता रहे हैं again. The mind continuously flows to the Supreme Lord, who is situated in all antakarans and thus becomes an easy object of meditation. Just by hearing about my qualities, Lord says, just by hearing about me, they develop such attraction for me. They can't think of anything else. They think only of me. Ahetuki avyavita bhakti karte hain, just like Ganga. He says, just like the water of the Ganga, even though turned back by the ocean waves, the ocean may push the Ganga back, but still Ganga again enters the ocean. The mind flows only to me, although allured by me. I give allurement to my devotee. I'll give you liberation. I'll give you salukya. I'll give you sarishti. सब देते हैं, बोलते नहीं चाहिए था, कुछ नहीं चाहिए. That's what he tells in the next verse. My devotee doesn't get attracted to anything like this. कितना भी उसको पुश करो, नहीं, मैं आपकी सेवा करना है. What are bhakti's qualities? It is devoid of having other results in the mind. Ahetuki. It is not like jnana. It is not like yoga. They are dependent. But yoga and jnana, they are dependent on bhakti. Bhakti is independent. There is no criteria required to practice bhakti except one. What is the criteria for bhakti? Bhakti करने की क्या criteria है? हाँ? Okay, you know, NOD में बोलते हैं, उसमें 3rd-4th chapter में, the qualification for devotional service. So, रूप गोस्वामी says, इंद्रिय मात्रस्य अधिकारिता. मनुष्य रूप है ना, भक्ति कर सकता है. Any human can practice bhakti. Only thing required is desire. इच्छा होनी चाहिए. And then he says, Bhakti is the process, bhakti is the result. Swamiji, what will you get by chanting Hare Krishna? Prabhupada ne kya bola? More chanting Hare Krishna. What is the result of seva? More seva. So bhakti is the process, bhakti is the result. It is explained in the first canto that first and 12th stages of bhakti should not be considered the cause and effect. भक्ति के जो विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर का 14 सुना था ना हमने, नारद मुनि का, उसमें है साधु संग और प्रेम. You should not think that sadhu sangha leads to prem. It is not the cause and effect. They are both equally important. It is not that प्रेम पे पहुंच गए तो हरि बोल, अभी तो साधु संग को बाजू में रखो, बहुत हो गया साधु संग, अभी तो प्रेम पे पहुंच गए ना हम लोग. When the airplane landed, Vaikuntha Viman came, and Jai Vijay, Nanda Sunanda, they glorified Dhruva. Dhruva, you are the most fortunate in your entire dynasty. Nobody has achieved this destination in your entire dynasty. This Dhruva Loka is waiting for you. Come. And then Vaikuntha Viman is waiting. So Maitreya Muni speaks a very beautiful verse. What Dhruva did. मतलब हमारे कंटेक्स्ट में अगर बाई चांस ऐसा हो गया कभी, सुबह सुबह माला करने बैठे और वैकुंठ विमान आया, हरि बोल, और नंद सिंह बोलेंगे चलो प्रभु जी अभी जाना है वैकुंठ, तो हम क्या बोलेंगे? ये माला ले लीजिए, हो गया मेरा, हरि बोल. अभी क्या जरूरत है माला करने का, हो गया ना? नहीं बोलेंगे ऐसा, because we know the philosophy. So through what he did, निशम्य वैकुंठ नियोज्य मुख्ययो मदच्युतं वाच मुरुक्रम प्रियः कृताभिषेक कृत नित्य मंगलो मुनिन् प्रणम्याशिषमभ्यवादयत्. He says, when he heard the words of Nandasuna, they were like the mouth dripping honey. ऐसा गिर रहा है मधुच्युत. And when he heard this, it was very pleasing. But what he did, Krita Abhisheka, he did his morning duties, he did his rituals, he did his yajna. ऐसा नहीं कि चलो भाई अभी तो हो गया, अभी तो वैकुंठ विमान आ गया है, अभी क्या जरूरत है सब करने का. कृत नित्य मंगलो, he did his morning rituals. उसके बाद क्या किया? He went to each and every sage and took their blessings. अभी क्या जरूरत है? ये लोग तो जान नहीं रहे हैं वैकुंठ, मेरे लिए तो विमान आया है. Why should I take blessings? Still he went to each and every sage and took blessings from them. Please give me blessings so that I can go and serve Krishna properly there. So that is a devotee. For a devotee, the means and end are the same. उधर भी जाके वही करना है. Devotee never feels, अब तो मैं हो गया मेरा, अभी तो वैकुंठ जा ही रहे हैं, अभी क्या जरूरत है आशीर्वाद लेने का, ये लोग तो इधर ही रह गए, इनकी भक्ति तो पूरी हुई नहीं अभी तक, मेरी भक्ति तो पूरी हो गई देखो. So a devotee never feels like that. So the means and the end are same in the process of bhakti. It is beyond the modes. So that's why ahetuki avyavahita ya bhakti purushottame. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll continue with the next verse next time. Very powerful verse. I'm not sure next Sunday I'm not there. I will not be having class. But next Sunday we are going to, उसके बाद कार्तिक यात्रा हो जाएगी. So अभी उसके बाद नेक्स्ट क्लास अभी सीधा होगा 10 तारीख को. Next 2 Sundays we won't be having class. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada
We
ki jai.
can have exam probably next Sunday. Class may not be there.
Yeah,
We keep
we can have our exam. Yes.
exam again.
Next Sunday exam रख सकते हैं. Because I am traveling from GV and there is some other things. So next Sunday I am not there, but exam will be there.
So you can send the paper for you.
Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.